What's up guys, welcome to another video. And as I said in the last one, today I was going to do the assignment to the slots of the items and weapons that we can buy from our store. And before we get into that, let me just apologize, I'm a little bit sick. So my throat is, well, complaining. And I might sound weird or something. But hopefully you guys can enjoy anyway. So as I said, I was going to get a mesh for each weapon that we would use. But I'm doing this like in the next day, so I haven't really had time. I didn't know that I could record today, but I'm going to be doing it. And I got just here a mesh of a medikit. I'm just going to assign material to it. It doesn't need to make sense. It's just something to... Well, let me guess something... Yeah, it's fine. Just imagine this is like a texture of a medikit. Doesn't matter. I have the texture, but I don't want to be putting it right now. And I'm going to use this and the M9 for the sidearm. And I'm basically going to use those as placeholders, to show the logic, to show that the logic works. Excuse me. So I'm going to go over here into the medikit, and I'm going to go ahead and use our first aid kit. And that's going to be fine. I don't know what the hell's wrong with the mesh here, but okay. Compile and save. And now, let me remember. Okay, so over in the player character, remember we left off this logic where we'd actually spawn the actor when we buy it, and then we're gonna have this to assign the slots. So if I play right now, and let me see, if I click F, equipment, and I buy, I'm gonna buy a medikit, and you can see that the medikit is there, the mesh. And what I need, I'm going to need a couple more, first of all, sockets. So as I said, I'm using the socket name for the placement of the attaching actor and where I spawn it. And right now I only have ones for equipment, so I'm going to set up .03. And I'm going to go into the mesh quickly to do that. Let's go into our skeleton over here. So we have our equipment socket over here in the left leg, and I'm gonna put the right socket in our right leg. So right up leg, I'm gonna add a socket, and I'm gonna call it a sidearm socket. Sidearm socket. And the preview that I'm going to be using is going to be the M9. It's over here. So now the thing with using single sockets for weapons is that you actually have to make sure when you import the meshes, they already need to come with the correct rotation to fit the socket and like it looks nice on the character. Because right now you can see that the weapon is flipped. So for now, because I'm not like making the meshes to actually fit the rotation, I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to flip the entire socket itself. But then obviously when we are making the assets, we need to make them so they fit the socket correctly. That's what I'm going to be doing. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Maybe pull it a bit up here. It doesn't really matter right now, like that. Should it be like that? And I guess that's going to be fine. Just do this. There you go. Let's save. I'm actually going to leave this open because we might need to come back here. I'm just going to create the other two sockets so they are created. So the other weapons are going to be on the back. And let me see. I'm going to make... excuse me. I'm going to go into the left shoulder. I'm going to add a socket. And I'm going to call this the primary weapon socket. I don't really have a mesh for primary weapons yet, so I'm just going to leave the socket out here. And I'm going to go into our right shoulder. I'm going to add a socket, and I'm going to call it melee weapon socket. So these are secondary weapons, or not secondary weapon, but melee weapons. They're going to stay over here in the right shoulder position. I'm just going to roughly place them, that's going to be fine. And I'm going to leave this open so I can come over here and pick up these names so I got it exactly as they should be. And now that we only have the medikit, I'm going to create another item for our shop. And the first step to do that, we need to go into our third-person BP, blueprints. I'm going to go into shop, well, not shop, weapons, and go into master item. I'm fucking dying here, fucking hell. I'm so sorry. I might drink some tea over here. I probably shouldn't be recording this today, but I feel like doing this, and since I'm home, I'm going to commentate over it. I really apologize about the voice and all. I'm going to call this, just gonna call it M9, so, gonna move it into the items folder. Double click that open. First of all, test weapon, I'm going to get our M9 mesh. There you go. And now we need to fill in the information over in the class settings, class default, sorry. So the current ammo, this should be left to be, I guess we can fill it in. So I'm going to say 16 bullets, that's the magazine of an M9. I'm going to call it 9. The weapon thumbnail, don't have one yet. I'm going to use, actually I do have one yet. Oh, sorry, I'm dumb. Oh, that's a sketched image, so that it doesn't fit a square. The socket name, that's why I want this opened, so I can control C this. And I think I can close it now. Control V, there you go. Magazine size, already said it, 16 bullets. Current ammo, we do not use that. We use this one separate variable over here. The damage of the weapon, I'm gonna say 30. It's going to be a sidearm type. Rate of fire, it doesn't matter because it's going to be single shot. Come on, there you go. Is ammo, it's false. Ammo type is going to be, I guess we can say it's a laser. The weight, I do not think we use weight. We use this as slots, but I'm gonna just 2.5. We probably not gonna use this value, but it doesn't matter. The animations, I did not set up there yet, but let me just see. So I think it's pistol. No, I don't think I have imported the animations yet. Yeah, these animations are not for this character. I'm gonna need to import those animations, but I'm going to leave them as default right now. And the class is going to be ourselves. So M9. I'm gonna compile this and save it. Now I need to go into the shop menu. Go into our sidearms container. I'm going to find the shop item blueprint. And now we can go into our M9. We can go ahead and copy the weapon details and paste them over here. And the values will be automatically set up over here. And the cost, well, I'm going to say a medikit, how much did I say medikit cost? 200. So I'm going to make this one cost 500. And honestly, that's everything we need to do right now. So let's go ahead and play. Primary weapons, it's empty. Melee weapons, it's empty. Sidearms, there we have it. Oh, that's interesting. Why is it not? Okay, we found a bug. That's gonna happen a lot of times when making a game. So let's go into our shop item. We need to find where we set this text. That's over here. Why is it returning null? I don't understand. Okay, I'm honestly confused right now. Wait a minute. Why is this suddenly not making any sense to me? So the weapon type, we're doing a select based on the weapon type, but we are not defining the index itself. Why is this confusing me so much? Okay, well, guys, let me just pause for a minute. Let me see what's going on here. Okay, guys, I'm stupid. It wasn't making any sense, but it does. Basically, we are using the select weapon type. So if it's a full auto, the text over here is going to say max size, and over here, if it's full auto, is going to say damage. So the thing why it wasn't showing any text is because the sidearm, I added this later on. So the sidearm over here appeared all as empty, so I need to fill this out. So this is going to be the text for the max size, and the magazine size is going to say max size. Boom. This one is going to be the cost is going to be the damage stat, so it's going to say damage, and the fire rate is going to say, well, it's a weapon, so it doesn't really have rate of fire. I mean, I'm gonna say rate of fire anyway, because even being like a weapon that fires when you shoot, you may not be able to spawn infinitely, so like fire super fast, you may need a little bit of a cooldown. So I think it makes sense. And in other regard, I'm gonna go back over here where I said that rate of fire didn't matter, and I'm gonna make this the cooldown, I guess, a 0.2. So after 0.2 seconds, you're gonna be able to shoot it again. These values obviously will be mattering when we are actually making the logic to actually use those weapons. But right now, if we go into the shop and play, let's see. Okay, now we have the text, and it's going to be damage 30, the max size 16, and the rate of fire 1.0. I think I just changed that. Wait. Okay. Why is it not updating? That's weird. Why is rate of fire 1.0? I said that the rate of fire is 0.2. And I compile and I save. and we are getting this value. We follow the reroute node is going straight into rate of fire. That's what I changed. Oh, I know why. Because I'm stupid. Because I didn't edit that value over here on the widget itself. Okay, so that makes sense now. So now, for the last time, I think we're going to be able to see the stats correctly. And there you go. And for this one, the damage is going to be 30, but for it is going to be the value that it yields. The magazine size, and over here is how many users you got. And the rate of fire over here is the cooldown time. And now we are able to buy this one. And by this one, you can see we left with $300. Now if you actually take a look, you can see we have the pistol over here on the right leg and the medikit on the left leg, exactly as we wanted them. So we got a kind of procedural-ish, it's not really, but now we are able to create any item and basically equip it the same way. And now we have them stored in our weapon slots. I'm going to create a comment node over here and say assign bot weapons to slots. Now we're going to need to, I think what I'm going to do next, well, it's the next logical step, is for us to be able to pick those items from wherever they are and put them in our hands for us to actually be able to use them. I'm going to need to go into the project settings to make a couple of keys, if they are not done already. They actually are, that's cool. Slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, and slot 4. So let's start putting them over in our player character. Slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, and slot 4. Now each one of these is going to equip one of our slots over here. Now we need to decide what we want to happen when we actually equip a slot. So for that, I'm going to be creating a custom event, and I'm going to say client equip item. I'm going to make an unknown client and reliable. Now you're going to need to pass on information. Actually, we do not. We only need these variables over here. So let's go over here. Okay, actually we need to create an input. That input is going to be the slot that we want to equip, and it's going to be of the type master item, I believe. Yeah, master item. There you go. Compile, save, and let's call those over here. Client equip item. And for the slot 1, we're going to be equipping our primary weapon slot. Let's Control C, Control V. Our slot 2 is going to be our melee weapon. Our slot 3 is going to be our sidearm. And our slot 4 is going to be our equipment. So now, for us to test this, I am going to get the item details, or I don't know, let me go ahead and see weapon details. There you go. I don't know why this isn't weapon details, but whatever. So let's go ahead and say weapon details. Let's get those. Let's break, and for now, let's just see. My headphones are kind of okay. You might hear the weird sounds coming from I don't know if it's going to appear in the video or not, and I apologize about that. But I was saying that okay. For testing this out, I'm going to make, when we actually want to equip a slot, we're just going to display our name in the print string. God damn it. My headphones are freaking out. If you can hear that on the video, I sincerely apologize. It's very irritating. Okay, let's pick this shit up. Bye and bye. Now I'm gonna click 1, doesn't happen, nothing happens. 2, nothing happens. 3, it says we have the M9, and 4, we have the medikit. So we know that the slots are saving correctly. And actually, okay, these errors are because I tried to use slot 1 and 2 that I have nothing assigned, but I just remembered I forgot to actually test this out with more than one player, and that might cause problems because I don't know if I did the replication of this actually correctly. Let's go ahead and pick up our client 2 and buy this shed. Boom, boom. And we can see the medikit there. Now let's pick our other players and see if we can see them. We can see the medikit and we can see the pistol. I don't know if you can see that on video, but it's over there. Now let's, the hell? The animation didn't replicate. And I suddenly closed that. Okay. I'll do it again, no problem. The sprinting animation is not replicating on the client. The hell? It's not replicating on one of the clients. Just one of them. Well, that's just weird. I think that's a bug. We might need to see if that's alright. Okay. Let's just go over here. Buy this as the server. And let's take a look if everyone can see that. So we can see the server. As the client, I'm going to equip that, and I can see that. And if I now select the server and take a look around, I can also see that. And the other client can see both. There you go. So now we are actually testing this out, and it actually does work with more than one player. So that's perfect. It's actually amazing that I didn't forget to do anything. So now we can take a look at it. I don't know if I should go more into this video, but I guess I will. I'm going to do one thing, one very important thing. So no matter the animation or no matter which weapon or equipment you are trying to use when we equip the item, we're going to need to stick whatever is this mesh into the ends of the player. So we no longer want them to be attached to a socket that is attached to a bone on the leg or in the back. We're going to want them to be attached to the end of the player. So we're going to need to change that, and I'm going to need to go back into our mesh. Let's go straight into the skeleton, because now we're going to need to go into our right end. Where is it? Right end. There you go. Let's add a socket, and I'm going to call this the items socket. Now I'm doing this for all the items. Now they might appear to be in the wrong place when I spawn them. The only reason for that is because we're using one socket with meshes that are found on the internet, so they are not made to be attached to the socket. Obviously, we have two options. We either make a shit ton of sockets, one for each asset, or we make the assets fit the socket. And we're going to do that with the assets that we're going to do, or we might create the sockets. We don't really know yet. But for now, it might seem out of place, but the only thing that matters is that it follows the socket around. So I'm just going to Control C this, and I'm going to go back into the player character. Excuse me. And what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to copy and paste this attached to component. So the target is going to be the slot, I think. yeah, the parent is going to be something that I'm going to be passing through over here, and it's going to be God damn it, I'm so sorry. It's going to be the mesh over here that we can attach. Let's go and do that for each one. Boom. And I just realized I don't want to do this over here. So that's a mistake on my part. I'm going to want to create a new custom event called server underscore attach items or item. Let's make that on the server reliable. Let's call that up here server attach item, and let's just, well, I'm going to need to do this to create the inputs, and I'm just going to connect these up. Now the socket name is going to be, oh sorry, I'm going to need to go back and copy that up, item socket, there you go. Oh, I the editor almost crashed. I hope not. Another thing I'm going to need to do is get this parent, get socket transform. We're going to want to get it on parent bone space. Okay, the editor is starting to have that problem that I had a couple of weeks ago, and I hate that. God damn it, I don't know what the fuck happened. And socket name is going to be the item socket, and what we're going to need to do this is going to the target and set the transform. Set the active transform. And the transform is going to be this one from the return value. And I'm going to say to teleport. Connect these up. Now after we do that, we're going to snap it to that same socket. Let's compile and save. Let's just maximize one of the clients here. Into our sidearm, buy the weapon. That's going to be on the key 3. Now as you can see, the mesh is not in the correct place, but you can see that the weapon is attached to its end. Now let's go back and do this, and actually take a look with the client. There it is, and you can see that the weapon is following the animation, so that's working. Now if we go with the server and take a look, you can see the same thing. Now let's go with the server and buy, let's say, the medikit, and we're gonna press 4, and we do get the medikit on our ends, and the clients can see that, and you can see that's replicating correctly. Now of course that's offset, I already explained why, but the logic itself, it's working perfectly, so that's very good. Now obviously we might want to have like an equip animation, and we do have that over here. If I check the item details on the animations, we do have an equip and unequip animation that we can put in, but for now I don't really have one, and the way that we might want to set that up, it's gonna be over here. So you might want to set a variable over here that's going to be is equipping, and set it to true, and then when the animation is over we set it to false, and let everyone knows in the server that we're doing that so the animation replicates. But because I don't really have the one animation right now, I'm gonna come back here later, so I'm gonna go ahead and click on C, and I'm going to say equip item in end, Then I'm gonna say make equip and equip animations here. It's really important that you, when you are developing something and you don't really have an asset that you need to work with, you need to leave warnings for yourself so you remember where you have to do that. And I'm gonna set up this kind of yellowish color. It's green, but you know. So I know that this I need something to be done over here. And over here I'm gonna say I guess equip from slot inputs. And yeah, from there, if we have this currently items equipped, we can now set up things that we want the own items to do. So for example, firing or the medikit to give the player health, etc. And I think I'm going to be doing that in the next video. It's already half an hour. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting up a blueprint inside the items, a variable, sorry, that is going to say can be used or is equipped. It's better is equipped. And then we're going to have an input that's going to be like left mouse button. And we're going to check when that's pressed inside the item. Well, is equipped true? If it is true, when we click the button, we're going to be doing whatever the item does. That's going to be the system going to be using for using the equipment, the items themselves. But I'm going to leave that for the next video. I'm going to be leaving my Discord server in the description if you want to give me something to do, like you have work or something, or you have any doubts, if you want me to help, I will help you. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.